Greetings, beloved ones. I'm Minister J.B. Namaste to all my spiritual and metaphysical brothers and sisters. To you who do not understand the term namaste, and some of you may not, it simply means the God in me is recognizing and greeting the God in you. Beloved ones, before we get started with today's talk, though, I want you to take a moment and think about this these terms that you may have heard or be aware of. What do the term God and me mean to you? I want you to give that some thought today. What does that really mean? And how does it affect your life? Because it does in a very, very efficient way. Beloved, you have heard this term used so much in the spiritual and religious communities. Most people who are expressing and using this have no idea what it really means. They just kind of say it because it's like the in thing to say. I had to really stop and think about and have some understanding of what they really mean. And when you fully understand that, it will give you a sense of understanding and give you a sense of confidence knowing that you truly are connected to God in a very significant way. I'm not saying that the term the God in me is something new. People have been saying it for years and probably hundreds of years. But it seems to be a term that you're hearing more often now. More people are using that term and using that and expressing it. You even heard it being used in some of the churches now more than it was being used before. You see, beloved one, I grew up as a Christian. Well, a lot of you also grew up in the Christian faith, and you were taught that God is somewhere located in a place called heaven. That's just the way it was. Your teaching, if you went to Sunday school or your parents, someone taught you and had you to believe that God was somewhere in the heavens. But the fact of the matter is, beloved ones, God is not. There is a supreme being that controls the universe. Okay, and there are gods who control the universe and created the universe. But those same gods are the ones who created you and me. And when they created you and me from the start, they put the essence of their being inside of you. So, in other words, the essence, the belief in the God essence are inside of each one of us. Each one of us have that God force that lives inside of us. But some would want you to think that you are separate from God. And it has been taught in some of the traditional churches that you have to come and have an allegiance to the organization, have an allegiance to the minister, because they stand in the middle between you and God, and they are the ones who will help you to communicate with God. Beloved one, that is far, far from the truth. Okay? You are one with God. No one has to come and communicate for you on the behalf of God. Now, let me make it very clear to you, beloved one, that I am not knocking, I am not criticizing how anyone choose to worship or call on God. I'm just sharing with you the understanding that that has been brought to me and the teaching that I am aware of. And that teaching is that you were made in the image of God. And what does that simply mean? That means that you have the Spirit of God in you. See, a lot of people think about the word image and they think about likeness. And yes, it is a likeness, but it's not a physical thing. I'm not talking about a physical thing. Don't think that because I say use the term image of God, that you look like God or God looks like you. No, I'm not talking about your physical body. I'm talking about your spiritual being, come from the essence of the creators that put it all together, beloved ones. Like I said, I'm not speaking about your physical body, but I'm speaking about your spiritual inner being. Okay? You have to be aware and come to the understanding that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. Okay? You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You see, beloved ones, most people do not understand that, and we were not taught that way. So we have to understand we cannot blame our parents or even some of the teachers that teach you that, because they're only teaching you what they know. They cannot teach you anything that they are not conscious of themselves. So don't be critical about how your parents taught you or how your teacher taught you. But now you have to recognize and understand it is your responsibility to take charge of yourself, okay, and your spiritual self. It's essential that you do this, okay? You are not separated from God, and you are not separated from God. I'm going to make this very clear to you. And the ones who taught you that on purpose, because you see, beloved one, there are some people in religious organizations that know better, but they teach you another way. They want to be able to control you. They want to be able to keep you under bondage to them. They want you to think that you have to have an allegiance to them in order for you to have a communication with God. That is so far from the truth. So far from the truth. Matter of fact, beloved one, I think that is the most deplorable, deceptive thing that has ever been placed upon mankind. That is to have you think that that you are separate from God. When you were taught that, that to me is original sin. For you to think that you have to have someone else to intercede for you on the behalf of your communication with God. You don't need that, beloved one. Yes, it is wonderful that if you have people that want to pray with you and worship with you and have an experience with you on the spiritual side, but you do not need them to be able to contact and have a relationship with your creator. Okay? You do not need anyone else to intersect for you and on your behalf for you to have a one-on-one with God. Like I said, it's good to have people pray with you and worship with you. That's a wonderful thing. But you do not have to have them there to be able to do what you need to do in order to keep your contact with God. Okay, beloved one, you see, you have the power and the authority to be able to communicate with God. That door is open, always has been there, and you have to be able to understand how to do it. And once you recognize and truly understand that the Spirit of God, a living God, is living inside of you right now, right this very moment, that God's force is inside of you, and that God force is here to provide you what you need to help you to be able to give you all the things you need to be able to conduct yourself as a spiritual being. Help you with your purpose for being here, because we all came here and to do something specific. And once you are in contact and recognize that God inside of you, you can just simply ask for divine direction and be able to get on the right path. See, beloved ones, right now on planet Earth, if you look around, there's so many things that are unbalanced. There's so much chaos going on the planet right now. And you need to understand that you need to take control of your being, especially your spiritual and physical being, and understand that you have the power to control you, okay, and not get caught up in this worldly stuff that we are observing that's happening, this chaos that's happening now, okay, because the planet is going through changes, the planet is shifting, and mankind is shifting, and a lot of them are confused about what's happening, so they're not giving you good information about how to conduct things and how to do things. But you don't have to feed into man's concept about life. You have the power to ask the God and you to be able to get what you need in order to be able to do what you need to do. Beloved ones, okay, you really need to come to that full understanding. And I ask of all you parents who have younger children to please teach them the truth. Tell them about their God self if you are aware and you're conscious enough to be able to do that. And let them know who they really are. And they don't have to go around through life thinking and begging and pleading for some help from some God up in the sky. Okay? You don't have to do that. All you have to do is look inside of yourself. That God lives in you and me on a constant basis. So you just have to be consistent to understand that and know that you know that. Okay? And before I close, I wanted to just share something with you, beloved ones. You know, there's a quote in a verse in the Christian Bible. It's Psalms 82, verse 6. Psalms 82, verse 6. And I would suggest that you read it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. You take time to read it for yourself and see for yourself. This verse 6 says, I say you are gods and children of the Most High. Let me say that to you again. I say you are gods and all of you are the children of the Most High. You see, beloved ones, the God that created the universe is living inside of you, okay? And you are the children of that God, the gods that created the universe, okay? You are direct descendants of those gods. And so that means the power of that creator lies within you. And all you have to do is recognize and understand it and take control of what you need to do. Okay? That's saying, if God is for you, who can be against you? And that is true, beloved ones. So I want you to go and live your life and begin to recognize you have choices. The God in you is there to help and assist you on your journey. Okay? I want you to have that and have full understanding. I just want to say peace and blessings to you on your journey. And I know that your life will be changed if you understand what I've just shared with you. Thank you and have a wonderful and blessed day.